You've got the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show coming up. Pardon?
I said, hoo-hoo. Hoo-hoo.
Wait a minute. That's a sound effect button I've got over here. There you go.
A little bit clipped.
Coming up, we're going to try to talk to Zen Master Ulysses Garcia and get the latest on the JDM stuff, but I figured out what the problem is.
He's not here.
He's on Japanese time.
Oh.
So it's a different hour.
Oh, it was yesterday then.
Jeff's going to bring us some car culture with side view mirrors. Cameras.
Cameras. Side view mirror cameras.
Well,
yeah,
they're the same, but they're just cameras. That's
I
all.
like them. I think
Mr. Mars
cool.
reviews the 2025 Chevy Colorado. He's going, well, wait a minute, he's not here. He's here. He stepped outside to take some sort of highly important phone call.
Yeah.
Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars. We always need more Jeff Zekin, Chief Engineer David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday morning. We're recording this on a Friday.
Yeah, there you go. I was going to say, how are we going to do that?
Well, we're recording this on a Friday. So if you're watching on a Saturday at our regular time, right on. If not, then you're watching now, and congratulations, you found us.
Yep.
But
we're live somewhere, aren't we?
Yeah, somewhere.
Somewhere.
Well, we think we are because Mars isn't over there doing his thing.
I think we're live in Tahiti.
Really?
Yeah.
Do they have cars in Tahiti?
I don't know. We'll be there next week.
All right. So, since we don't have a Zoom
They don't
person.
have a Zoom guest.
No. Should I walk out there and get him?
No.
You could tap dance here by yourself for a while.
Bop-a-doo-boo-boo.
But we were supposed to have Ulysses Garcia, JDM Master. Mr. Mars put Ulysses Garcia, Black Belt JDM Master.
Yeah, he's like the guru of JDM.
JDM is Japanese domestic market.
Yeah.
And why is it popular? Hopefully I'll look at some of his projects. We had it all lined up for you. But I think Ulysses is sleeping in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He probably had a late night.
Could have been. Yeah, he's still clubbing.
Doing some sort of, either that or some, parking lot takeover. He doesn't do that.
No.
He goes to the drag strip.
Well, he was a racer.
Yeah, the drag strip.
Yeah, drag strip, or I don't know if it might be drifting too.
No, well, I don't think so.
Could be.
Yeah, he was bragging about 8th mile times.
Oh, okay.
That's the new thing. In my world, it's not the new thing.
No, quarter mile. 1320.
The other thing is that we wanted to bring up right out of the box this morning, and you may or may not know or recognize the name, Gene Winfield. And Gene Winfield passed away a couple days ago. And we've had him on this show several times when we were at Autorama. And the past few years, he hasn't been doing well enough to travel. And come to find out that he's had cancer. Mm-hmm. And I don't know whether that was the exact cause of death. But at any rate, he was, early 90s, I believe. Mid-90s, somewhere in there. And still working every day that he could.
Gene Winfield was an extraordinary car builder, forward-thinking car guru, I guess.
He was a World War II guy, and he was one of the first hot rodders. Came back from the war, and in the late 40s started his own shop, and did some pretty amazing things in cars that you would recognize. He was known for his creations, and matter of fact, he's made appearances on all of the latest hot rod shows.
TV shows, yeah.
And it's always good to see him, and it's a shame we're not going to see him anymore, but great guy, very approachable.
Yep.
And I'll never forget, I think we had the biggest stand-up audience when we had him on our show at Autorama. It was quite amazing.
And he would bring his team in, and they would have a separate area, and he would actually do a chop of a vehicle live in front of everybody.
Yes.
And they would hit the welders, the grinders, the guys measuring, and they were young guys. They weren't, I want to say, students of the craft of the trade, but he would guide them, and he would explain the step-by-steps as they're chopping a top off of 50 Chrysler or something.
And I think that's what he was really known for, is how to chop a car, because it's not just taking a Sawzall and going after it.
And it's not just the roof. You can section a car. You can widen a car. You can chop and widen a car as well.
Yep.
So there's a lot of technical ability there, and he was the best.
He was. And he did all of it by eyesight and experience.
Yep.
And I'm sure that he made lots of mistakes early on, but boy, I'll tell you what, he pulled it out in the end.
And he was a big guy in the industry, but he wasn't a big guy in stature. He was a small smaller, man.
Wiry.
Wiry. Well, climbing in and out of those cars, you got to be.
Exactly. And I think that that's what kept him going as long as he did, because he was always very active
Right.
and always doing all sorts of things.
Yep. He lived out in Arizona, didn't he? He lived in Arizona.
No, I think
New
that
Mexico
he lived
or
in
Arizona?
the desert of California.
Okay.
I think he lived in the Mojave Desert.
Near, yeah. Okay.
I think.
Mike's back.
What was the thumbs up for?
He did. He lived in Mojave Desert.
Yeah.
We're just wondering where you've been.
I've been.
Are we even on the air?
Yes, we are. I think. I hope.
We got you there, Mike. We got you there.
Been taking care of business.
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 Well, it is a Friday, and we explained to everybody that it is Friday.
Speaking
we're
of
doing
business.
we're doing this show live on Friday for playback on our regular time slot Saturday, 10 to noon.
Yes.
So no matter whether you're watching it live now or you're watching it live but recorded on Saturday, there's many elements to all of this. Plus,
Just hit the
let's
button.
not forget that this is going to be the spring forward, fall back kind of weekend.
Yes, I was trying to explain that to my granddaughters, and they said, "What?"
Yeah, well, it'll become important to them when they get old like us, because when you have a clock that changes by an entire hour, it screws up the next 2 weeks.
So, Grandpa, you're going to fall forward right after this fifth.
That's it.
Well, they asked me why. Why do we do that? I got no answer.
Well, I think that originally it was for the farmers.
And one of the things they said was for safety, like in the big cities, because people aren't in the dark so much, they're out in the daylight.
no.
They have all kinds of excuses.
Yes.
It was for the farmers.
Yeah, because it gave them more daylight in the afternoons and the evenings so they could work the crops in the fields. Then we're not talking about the wintertime. Now that has changed. Now it's every 6 months, but it used to not be that way. It used to be a summer thing
Yes.
for the farm area.
That's true. Yeah.
So I lived in that era and in that part of the country.
Farmer Don.
No, but Dad was. Anyway, so obviously Ulysses Garcia didn't get the message that I left for him, didn't get the message that you left for him. Either that or he's ignoring us, which we're very familiar with.
Oh, he got the
I
message.
don't think
all
he's
right.
ignoring us because he was very, very receptive to being here. I mean, we talked about it, and he was, oh, yeah.
Maybe he's been arrested.
Could
Or maybe he's still racing or something.
Yeah.
No,
No.
no, not on Friday morning. Maybe he's hard at work and,
Could be.
you know,
Very, very
throwing
possible.
elbows around in the garage, that
Very
sort of thing.
possible. Very possible.
The other thing I wanted to talk about was the tariff fiasco. I got a story here. I got to find it. But the president had all good intentions, I think, but he didn't really think it through until the big three automakers went to him apparently last week and said, Mr. President,
It's not going to work.
well, it'll work. We'll try to make it work, but it's going to cost everybody lots of money. And I think that the bottom line was that the $10,000, roughly $10,000 increase in a car that's $50,000, that's going to put a lot of people out of the market,
Big-
and a lot of
big
people,
percentage.
yeah, a lot of people out of work. And of course, if you're not familiar with it, then you've been hiding under a rock. So. President Donald Trump will exempt automakers from his punishing 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico for 1 month, as long as they comply with the terms of an existing free trade agreement, according to the White House. Trump is also open to hearing about other products that should be exempted from the tariffs, which took effect March 4th, the White House said. Trump's tariffs pose extreme difficulties for automakers, which produce vehicles in all three countries and often ship parts across North American borders multiple times as they get built up into systems and finished vehicles. A 1 month exemption for cars and trucks that comply with the U.S. Mexico-Canada agreement's complex content rules, as Trump has outlined, would be a boon for Ford, GM, and Stellantis. And God knows that Stellantis needs all the help it can get and really doesn't need to be punished anymore, because that would be a real punishment for them, because they're barely hanging on. But the profits have slipped 27% or something like that. It's bad. I feel bad for the great folks that work at Stellantis or used to work at Stellantis that got booted by Carl. Carl. That was a big mess. So anyway, we've got a little reprieve on the tariffs for the automotive industry. We'll have to see how that all plays out. I think that Mexico is supposed to chime in on Sunday. They're supposed to have an announcement. What the announcement is, I don't know. I understand that the president of Mexico, Mrs. Steenburgen, or whatever her name is, was very, very delighted when she found out that the 25% tariff is going to be held off for another month. We'll see how this all works out. But at any rate, think about car company building, let's just say, your car. Where was your Buick built?
I think it was built overseas.
It was.
I think. I'm not sure. I don't know if it was China or South Korea. I believe so. I'll look, but it wasn't built here in the States.
Yeah. So
assembled, but not part. Yeah.
Yeah. Because, manufacturers these days, we call them manufacturers because they actually manufacture cars. They don't manufacture the parts that make the cars. They farm all that stuff out for the most part.
Yeah, I heard a commentator, journalist, whatever they are on TV, going through that.
Journalist? There aren't any journalists anymore.
So I'm saying a commentator. They went through it trying to explain that, that there are assemblies, but the way the tariffs will work will be on some parts, and that there are literally some parts, apparently, that leave the States, go into Canada, so there's a tariff involved there. Then it leaves Canada, goes down to Mexico, so there's another tariff involved there. And then it comes back to the States for final assembly, and there's another tariff. And they're trying to figure out how to – there's some complications.
Who gets what tariff,
It's not just a single tariff. There's multiple tariffs if they do it once it's applied to the process. And so that's part of the reason apparently they're backing off of this a little bit, because there's some unknown or unexpected
tariffs.
Yeah. So why did the manufacturers decide that they needed to assemble cars in Canada and Mexico with the big three? Why did they do that?
I think it's the vendors, is where the parts are built and how expensive the parts are and where they build them.
I think that may have something to do with it, but as far as
unions,
well, Mexico is labor rates.
Yeah,
so much cheaper for property down there. To have a facility down there and just send people down there to help.
Cost of living?
Yeah. And the cost of living when they get down there. I mean, some of the guys I know with a company that for the AT&T, when we were sending people down there, these guys would go down there and they were living like kings because their money would go so much further down there. And I'm sure that the auto manufacturers run into the same thing. Mm-hmm. So it's not necessarily a hardship to go down there, but then the people that are actually doing the labor, they work a lot cheaper down there. Good, bad, or ugly. I mean, that's just a fact. It is cheaper.
Yep.
Well, Ford had an assembly plant, at least they did, last time I looked, over in Windsor, Ontario, right across the river. Mm-hmm. And I remember they used to have engines, the Windsor or the Cleveland. And I'm not talking about steamers now. I'm talking about Cleveland Ford engines.
Right. 351 Cleveland or a 351 Windsor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then it depends on where it was, where the metal was squeezed out.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought it was something to do with design.
I think that there may have been some differences in design, but I'm not sure.
Huh.
Well, yeah.
Learn something new every day.
There are differences between the Cleveland and the Windsor. It's just...
Yeah. I mean, you can't take the
and
intake off
it's a performance side.
Yeah.
Tariffs.
We have...
we don't charge tariffs to our audience at all. This is free.
No. We are going to have somebody with the, now that I think about it, the Anderson Group. We've talked to them before. They're real big about talking about things like that, EVs. We're going to have them on to talk about the tariffs and what they have discovered and what they're...
Why don't you contact the president? We'll just get it right from the source.
Now that you say that, that might be possible.
Yeah.
I know the last president we had tried to find out something about his Corvette. I thought, well, how cool. Let's talk about the Corvette. Man, you got to talk to this person. You got to talk to that person. You got to go, you might be able to talk to this guy.
Well, there's one that just got fired recently. We could talk to him.
Well, that's the one that we couldn't get to before, but maybe we can now.
Maybe you can. He's looking for work, I'm sure.
Think he knows he has a Corvette?
I don't know. He doesn't anymore.
You could teach him to run the board.
He sold it?
I don't know. I would assume.
Teach him to run the board on remotes.
God, here we go.
Sorry, David.
Do you think that David is actually listening?
Oh, yeah. He's probably got his tune in.
Always.
No, he's probably not listening. David is actually working his real job.
Oh, that's right. It's Friday.
It's Friday.
Forgot.
So I just got a message here from a listener of ours. His name is Mike, and he says, "Yes, sir. Could you please comment further on the Cleveland Steamer?"
It all depends on what steamer you're talking about.
It runs up and down
Cleveland
the Great Lakes or
steamer,
something.
Houston steamer.
No, this would be the Cleveland Steamer. I always thought that instead of, they had this whole big thing about the Cleveland Indians.
Yeah.
I think that you should have named them the Cleveland
That was
Steamers.
Mike, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
He apparently is listening. And I'm sure that, he's doubled over in laughter.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Or doubled over in
Let's hope he's not
Shooting.
in the air while he's texting.
shooting pains. Is a test. This is one of those weird days that
It is. It's Friday. It's weird
it's
coming
Friday.
in the studio
it's
on
not
a Friday.
the 13th. Yeah. And we all show up here at 9:00 this morning going, why are we here?
There's usually beer cans tossed around. There's
Yeah, Don cleaned up the yard and everything.
clothing and things we got to pick up.
I was going to cut the grass this week, but I thought I'm waiting for it to start growing. It's not growing.
I fertilized this past week.
That doesn't make it grow right away.
No. It's a weed and feed is what it is.
Yeah.
Take care
Kill
of
the
weeds.
trees.
The lawn.
You know
Not
what?
the tree.
You know that it does kill the trees.
These trees aren't dying. These trees have been around for millions of years. They're huge.
Well, next on the garden line,
We're going to make a sandwich.
yeah. Golly, well, I don't know what else to tell you about the tariffs. I don't know what else to tell you about Cleveland
Or their steamers.
or the steamers.
We could go into a break before we get charged a tariff.
You want to do that?
I think so.
All right. Well, Jeff wins this round, this battle of
Always.
the steamers. So we're going to take a quick break here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. And we're trying to gather our thoughts and get an act together and see what we can come up with. But I needed to say this first, though.
Okay.
Mr. Mars is going to review the 2025 Chevy Colorado,
Dun,
along
dun,
with
dun.
Jeff's Car Culture feature on side view cameras that are going to take the place of mirrors.
Mirror.
The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is back in 2 minutes. The Tex-Mex dining experience is defined by Lupi Tortilla, your destination for Texas's best beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. Since 1983, Lupi Tortilla has served authentic and time-tested recipes made with the freshest ingredients. Atmosphere is part of the award-winning experience at Lupi Tortilla, all developed in a little house near Highway 6 and I-10 in West
6 of
Houston.
them you can put-
Visit any of the Lupi Tortillas and you'll see the same attention to detail in each and every location. Start your Lupi experience with queso flammeado and guacamole, along with a classic frozen margarita. Dine on famous Lupi beef and chicken fajitas, or pepper shrimp brochette, or a fish or vegetarian entree, and finish with a scrumptious flan for dessert. Find Lupi Tortilla in Houston, College Station, Beaumont, Austin, San Antonio, and Dallas-Fort Worth. There's a Texas location near you. The recipes are authentic and time-tested. The ingredients always fresh. Lupi Tortilla, he's pretty good. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. In Wheel Time hits the road literally when we join the Hot Rod Tour of Texas on April 26th.
He's done. Go ahead.
Do you know what that sounds like when you do that?
No, I really don't. I cannot hear a thing. That's why it amazes me that you can.
Well, my God, it's right here in my ear.
I know, but
You want to know what that sounds like? That's what it sounds like.
I just barely hear it.
Yeah, because you've got other things in your ears.
See, this is why I sit in the middle between these two guys. This is exactly why. We can't have anything nice around here with these boys.
No, you can't. It's like having two heathens in the house trying to divide up toys, and it never works out. I mean, you get in a fight with your best friend, and then you don't talk to each other for a couple of days, and then, hey man, listen, I'm sorry.
In Wheel Time, the Heathen Edition.
That's this. Jeff's Car Culture, side view mirrors. Let's go.
All right. Well then, side camera mirror systems future is here. Side camera mirror systems, a cutting-edge innovation in automotive industry, are reshaping the way we see and interact with our vehicles. Traditional side mirrors may have been a staple of vehicles for decades, but they come with their fair share of challenges and limitations. Side camera mirror systems, on the other hand, offer numerous benefits, but they also present some downsides and legal hurdles that need to be addressed. Traditional mirrors can be obscured by factors such as rain, snow, dirt, or even insects, making it necessary for drivers to frequently adjust them or clean them to maintain proper visibility. This inconvenience can be particularly problematic during long journeys or in regions with unpredictable weather. In vehicles shared by multiple drivers, each individual may need to adjust the side mirrors and suit their unique preferences and line of sight. Failing to do so can lead to discomfort, reduced safety, and if the mirrors are not optimally
that
positioned
hurts. Ow.
for the driver's height and seating position, especially when you crash into something. The design of the traditional side mirrors can generate wind noise and contribute to drag, especially at higher speeds. Reducing aerodynamic efficiency can impact both fuel economy and cabin comfort. Traditional side mirrors are unable to integrate advanced technology features. For instance, they cannot display additional information such as navigation guidance or blind spot monitoring, as is possible
That
with
camera is
side
as
camera
big
mirror
as a
system.
regular damn side view mirror.
It could be.
Looks like a little camcorder hanging out there.
Yeah. Traditional mirrors provide minimal feedback to the driver about their surroundings. Side camera mirror systems often include features like distance markers or warning symbols that enhance drivers' awareness and safety. Traditional side mirrors are exposed to vulnerable and impact from other vehicles, obstacles, or even careless pedestrians. This makes them more susceptible to damage, vandalism, and being knocked out of alignment, necessitating repairs or replacement. Shame on that. Side camera mirror systems provide a wider and more comprehensive field of view compared to traditional mirrors, significantly reduce blind spots. This can help prevent accidents when changing lanes or merging onto highways, making the roads safer for everyone, Michael. Which means some side camera mirror systems come with advanced features like lane keeping assistance and automatic adjustment. These features can aid drivers in maintaining a steady lane position and ensuring their mirrors are correctly aligned, enhancing overall safety and convenience. Unlike traditional mirrors, side camera systems are less effective by adverse weather conditions. They can adapt in various scenarios such as rain, snow, or fog, ensuring the drivers have a clear visibility at all times. The sleek design of side camera mirror systems contributes to improved aerodynamics, reducing wind resistance, and potentially increasing fuel efficiency. And we all want that. The installation and repair of side camera mirror systems can be more expensive than traditional mirrors. The technology involved, such as high-quality cameras and displays, can drive up the initial cost of the vehicle. Repairs can also be pricier. Drivers accustomed to traditional mirrors may take some time to adapt the new systems, adjusting to the camera display, and learning to trust the technology that lead into the initial confusion and discomfort. So overall, it's a new system. It's a new way of having your
Cake and eat it too.
Yeah, having your cake and eat it. I was picking Mike's on. I like it. I think it's going to be good. I could use it. I could adapt to it. You've got the rear mirror in the inside.
Those things are absolutely way too huge. There's no advantage as far as aerodynamics are concerned by what you just showed there. We have what we call a lipstick camera on the back of the helicopter that faces forward, and it's no bigger than a lipstick case.
And that is the ones that I showed you that we can find information on. They're all in Europe, and they're mainly on EVs.
Well, of course.
So they're not on any ice vehicles or anything
Well,
like
you know,
that.
a couple of them I thought was real good. And I thought maybe that's what this was going to be. The camera that's on the existing side mirrors, whenever you turn the blinker on, it comes up like in the speedometer or the tachometer, but it comes up on the dash and you can see it on your dash. You don't have to do all this other stuff. And that's basically a little lipstick type size camera on an existing side mirror.
And
I don't
I like-
understand some of that stuff. I'm with you. That's kind of
defeats the purpose with the size of those things that we just saw there.
they look like camcorders hanging out there. or
And are
something.
they going to put it? Objects in the mirror are larger than they appear. That kind of thing. So
Oh, that thing with the convex and the concave, and
Yep.
then, objects in mirror may appear closer than
Yep.
they really are.
yep. Is that going to happen?
I think we need
I
to
don't
put
know.
that on everything.
And some of these actually go into the fender.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
Let's
which
have a
is
motor
cool.
that breaks. It doesn't retract it, and I got all that.
I got you.
Well, Mr. Mars, you're not going to do your Chevy Colorado right now, so you might as well put
Oh, did
those
I go
pieces
over?
of paper away.
Did I go over?
But don't put it totally away, because what we're going to do is we're going to start off with your review for the next quarter.
All right.
Okay?
Yeehaw!
All right. I guess that means okay. God.
Well, it is rodeo.
He is in the rodeo
Mike
season.
is a rodeo.
All right. We're going to take a quick break here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. And we're going to try and do this whole thing all over again for the next half hour,
Oh,
but
Lord.
do it better.
More better.
Mo better.
A lot more better. In Wheel Time continues in a minute.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. It's time for the 47th Annual Corvette Chevy Expo in Galveston, Saturday and Sunday, March 15th and 16th at the Galveston Island Convention Center. This premier indoor event features iconic Chevrolets, from classic Camaros to America's sports car Corvette. See over 135 displays, automotive vendors, and unique finds at the expansive swap meet. You'll also see the all-handmade Galveston Craft Show, featuring over 100 local artisans. Be part of this Chevy celebration, March 15th and 16th. For tickets, visit CorvetteChevyExpo.com.
You know, somebody said something about retard this week, and I thought, well, that's inappropriate. That's not, we don't call it that anymore. We call it challenges. And I think that we have that here on the dais today. Challenges. From the Sugar Shack Studios in Texas, USA,
What's he
it's the
talking
In Wheel
about?
Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, Hemmings Sold Car Roundup, where you can guess the sold price of some very interesting cars and current recalls. Jeff has the cruise in and events calendar, and I'll bring you stories making automotive news headlines this week. And we're going to start off with Mr. Mars doing his car review or truck review of the Colorado.
I don't know if he's
It's
ready.
all coming up on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy. Along with Mike out of this world, Mars, we always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. David Ainsley is not with us today.
No.
And he's not sleeping in either. He's got
He's
a
at
real
work.
job.
Yeah. He's probably doing what he does.
Something like that.
Yep.
Doing that voodoo that he does so well.
Use it.
All right. So, Mr. Mars has a review of a truck that, did you like it or no? Do you like every car that you drive?
No,
But do you say that in your reviews?
no. If I don't like it, then I'm going to give you the facts. I'm not going to give you my opinion about it. Because,
Why not?
Well,
We want
because
your
you might
opinion.
like it. Because with the things that I don't particularly care for on this truck, you might like. So I'm just going to
If
tell
it
you the
rides,
facts.
do you think that I would like it if it rode rough?
No, I'll tell you if it rides rough. I'm just not going to tell you that I don't like
If the
it.
brakes suck or anything like that? Do you say
Well,
those
I would
things?
do that if I found any of that.
You old Rough Riders, you.
But I can assure you, I don't I don't drive them that hard, Don.
You're a liar. Are you kidding? This guy here,
He's challenged.
He used to get lots of tickets, but he's kind of backed off of that. I think Becky probably said, Mike, our budget's a little bit tight
Sounds like
this
Martha.
month, but I just don't understand why we keep having to pay the city or the county or the state of Texas all these hundreds of dollars because of some mystery that you're keeping from me. What are you keeping from him, Mike?
It's a toll tax, is what I tell her.
Is that?
You got to pay to drive on the highways to keep the highways.
Poor Becky.
Yeah,
We
and
love
so
Becky.
that car insurance has gone up double here in the past couple of years, and I don't know why.
All righty.
All right, yeah, well, you can go ahead and start your review now.
We're going to talk about the 2025 Chevrolet Colorado ZR2 four-wheel drive crew cab. Now, this is the Colorado, kind of like the Colorado Reborn. There was one several years ago back when the mini truck, when you called them small
Hallelujah.
trucks, and so now it's out.
It used to be called the New Mexico, but in this case, it's the Colorado.
Yeah. So this is the part of the third generation that was introduced in 2023. It comes with 5 trim levels. It comes with a work truck, an LT, the Trail Boss, the ZR1, and the ZR2. Now, it is a four-wheel drive crew cab truck. The government says it's a standard size pickup. I would call it a mid-size segment, but what do I know? It's a 5-passenger vehicle.
We know you don't know.
It's an off-road vehicle. It's got heavy off-road styling, and a lot of the accents or a lot of the styling things that are on it are very functional. The LED lighting with the headlamps and the fog lamps, and that's all part of the common what you're going to find in most new vehicles, but it's very functional in this vehicle. The front bumper is made for off-road work and got tow hooks, skid plates in the front and the rear, and for the gas tank, you got a skid plate on there. It's got wheel flares on it because of the ZR2 package, and it's got rocker panel protection on it. And that, by the way, looks kind of like a step plate, but it's not. It's strictly to protect the under part of the body whenever you go rock climbing. Now, it does have heated power folding side mirrors to make things a little bit more pleasant. Power sunroof. And it has the Stowflex tailgate, which is where you can drop the tailgate, and there's some storage that's put in there that's kind of like an underfloor storage in some of the other vehicles. So that was really smart move to use some space that wasn't really being used. Runs on 17-inch wheels. Now, these are beadlock capable wheels, and part of this, again, is geared towards the off-road, so you got more tire wall there to work with instead of having some of these little short run flats.
Beadlock capable.
Right. So you can take and make these they're not beadlocked from the factory, but you can make them that way. Because if you go to a tire shop like Discount Tire and say, oh, I got beadlocked wheels on here, they're going to laugh at you. So you got to have it to where you can operate in the regular world and then turn them into the beadlock type wheels when you go off-roading. That's about all I know about it. I don't know much about beadlock wheels because we got sand. We don't have rock. So when you get to the interior, now we had the jet black Artemis leather seating. And
Artemis
leather. Out west, we have herds of Artemis running wild out there if you can go out and find them. Now,
real
the front
furry.
seats are heated, ventilated. The rear seat is a 60/40 folding that has storage up underneath it. Has the 11.3-inch touchscreen in the middle of it. Now, this is where you're going to find your nav, your convenience controls, your infotainment, your Apple CarPlay, Android, all those good things. And it's also where you're going to find your surround view camera system. Now, this, again, it's very much kind of becoming mainstream, but in the off-road world that this vehicle is designed for, it's going to help you see where you're at in relation to the rocks, to the edges. This one will actually help you see what's underneath your vehicle. So it's really good for that. And then we also have the 11-inch driver information center, and that's where you're going to find all your configurationable things you want to know about your truck.
Configurationable.
Yeah. And we also had the Bose premium audio system, which I really like that, particularly in a smaller vehicle like this. Now, up under the hood, we had a 2.7-liter TurboMax inline four-cylinder. Now, this is 310 horsepower, 430 pound-feet of torque, so it will move this vehicle. Sometimes it sounds like it's working pretty hard at it, but it will do it without a problem. Tow rating on this vehicle, properly equipped, 7,700 pounds with a haul rating of 1,685. Now, again, we used to call these small trucks mid-sized trucks, and they've become a little bit bigger. EPA says in the city you should look for 16 miles to the gallon on the Highway 16 and combined 16. Now, I drove 445.9 miles, and I got 14.3 miles to the gallon on the average. And I will tell you that during this time, it does have a very firm truck ride. Now, part of this is because of the suspension in this package. It's up higher. It gives it a little more room to move the tires and that work with that suspension to kind of smooth out some of the road imperfections. And again, to that lifted suspension, while it does make the off-roading world a lot better, it also makes getting in and out of that vehicle a little bit tougher for a short guy like me. That protection down below that looks almost like a step rail, if it was a retractable step rail, I think that would make it a lot easier. I know my wife would really appreciate that whenever she had to get in and out of it. Now, if you're looking for the pricing on this thing, the work truck, the base model, is down around $33,495. Now, the base trim price when you get up into that ZR2 level is $49,600. So there's a pretty good size jump, but there's several different trims in there that you can work with. MSRP is tested for this vehicle $64,340. If you're looking for something to compare it to, the Toyota Tacoma comes in at $31,500 to start, and the Ford Ranger is around $33,800. Now, if you're looking over into the more of the SUV, CUV truck line, like a Honda Ridgeline, $40,150 is where you're going to start looking. So if you're looking for
That's basically a car, by the way.
Yes, with a bed on it. Mm-hmm. So that's the reason I threw it
Kind of
in.
like an El Camino.
But it still falls into
or a Ranchero.
Yes, but it falls into that same category of vehicles that this Colorado is, which I think is kind of a misnomer, if you would. And but I do think if you're looking for something that you want to take off-roading and you want something to start with, or maybe you just don't want to wrench it yourself, this is a vehicle you ought to look at.
And more importantly, you can put it in the dang garage.
Absolutely.
Because you're not going to be able to put a full-size truck in there anymore.
No.
You used to be able to.
And out west, they got the three-legged hairy Artemis that you could get your seats
It's
on.
a three-legged one.
Three-legged, yeah.
Yep.
They're very rare.
That's my review of the
Does it
2025
walk
Colorado
upright?
four-wheel drive ZR2 Crew Cab.
It
Only
leaves a trail.
Thank you, Mike.
You're quite welcome,
Are
sir.
you're going to send that off to General Motors and say, here's my review?
After I do a little editing.
Time now for some recalls. Ford Mustang 2022-2023 being recalled because the steering wheel may turn unintentionally.
Oh, boy.
What?
Huh?
It says right here, Ford Motor Company, steering wheel may turn unintentionally on the 22 and 23 Ford Mustang. Hands off, right hand turn. I don't know.
Well, maybe that's why there's so many videos of them taking off and going off into the side of the...
I don't. Maybe so. Engine damage may cause a stall or a fire.
Uh-oh.
Kia Seltos, Kia Soul, 21 through 2023 models. Volvo S90, 2025. Improperly secured windows may detach.
Martha?
Martha, we've lost the back window in the truck. I don't know what happened to it. Must have just fell out.
Messing my hair up.
Instrument panel display failure. Genesis, G80, GV70, GV70 EV, and GV80, 23 through 25 models. Second row side door lock malfunction. Martha, I can't get out. BMW X3. Also, same model year and same vehicle. BMW X3, loose cable connection between the battery and the starter. What's that popping sound underneath the hood? Does it smell electrical to you?
Yeah. Does it start?
Does it start? No, it doesn't start. It just goes click. And then the next thing you know, underneath the hood erupts in fire.
Yep.
I came from a different world than most people, I guess, because I've dealt with all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Dude,
And you can't
Generally
hardly put it
speaking, at the Chevrolet dealership,
out. It's no longer there.
that's no longer there. They went out of business.
burned down.
Just saying.
Loss of drive power from a damaged gear drive unit. Kia EV9, 2025.
Well, that's like 6 vehicles.
All of the S model Mercedes-Benz from 21 to 23 and the Maybachs,
Oh, boy.
front brake hose may leak. got that stain on the driveway that's now going down out to the
Is
gutter.
it proper fitting or don't
Gear
know?
position indicator not displayed in the Audi and the Volkswagen 22 to 23 model years, Q4 e-tron, Q4 Sportback e-tron, and ID4. Those are the recalls this week. Now, time for Hemmings.com Sold Cars Roundup. It's where the boys get to guess how much these cars actually went for on the online auction. Now, let's start with one that my daughter always loved this car. Katie, my youngest. Okay? And I have to tell you that I liked this one as well. The 2009 Pontiac Solstice, the little underpowered two-door coupe that was kind of about the Mazda Miata size. Okay? 2009 Pontiac Solstice looks completely stock and very well kept. How much do you think that sold for?
I'm going to go $17,000.
Mr. Mars, are you paying attention?
I'm going to go 11.
11? How about 19,950? It's probably got few miles on it, but that is a good looking little car.
Well, it is, but I would have thought that they're not being made, so that might have pushed the price down some. Parts and everything.
I don't know.
But I guess not.
Next car up is a 1974 Chevrolet Corvette. This is a C3. I actually had a C3, but mine was a 77. Same basic automobile. This particular one has an L82 emblem on the hood, meaning that it had more horsepower. More horsepower, meaning it was still under 300 for a V8 motor. It was gutless, but whatever. So a 74 Chevy Corvette. It has, the stock wheels on it, what we used to call beauty rings. I like that particular style. And how much do you think that went for?
Well, it's got a luggage rack.
Well, that would be a deduction in my world.
And it looks like the fit of the hood is off. I think it's been hit, my opinion. I'm going to go with Mike's answer first.
That one, I would put it at 15, and I think I'm a little high there, but I would go 15 because it looks like it's really clean.
All right, I'll go 16.
Well, you're both close. 17,850 is what it sold for. 17,850. All right, let's go to the next one. This is pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a 1970 Oldsmobile 442 convertible. Mm-hmm. It looks stock. It looks really clean. And I would say that it's relatively rare because I don't know that they sold as many convertibles as they did the regular coupe. And it's a 442.
And it's 69, you said?
It's a 1970.
70. Mm-hmm. Okay. I had a 71, but not the 442. It had all the accents. It had the striping, the wheels.
I'm thinking that says W30 underneath that 442 there.
Zoom in on that. Can you see that?
It does not say W30.
It says return to sender.
Yeah, that's what it says.
I don't know. But it doesn't make any difference.
I'm caught by the fin on the end of it, the spoiler on the back. I do not remember that being there. Well, even on the Herstols.
Okay, well, what you see here, how much do you think that it sold for?
I'm going to go 27, Mike. I changed my bid.
Did you?
And it's only if that Jeep in the driveway there comes with it. Yeah.
Well, see, I would. Yeah. Now, I really don't have a clue. I would say I'll go 30.
$52,500.
See, that makes me wonder if that's not a 4-speed car and all kinds of things that we can't see.
Well, I kind of gave you a hint in the fact that they're fairly rare because I don't know as if I've ever actually seen a convertible in person.
That's true. He did say that.
All right, moving on.
I wouldn't have gone 52.
Here's one here. This looks like a resto mod to me. Ooh. This is a 1957 Chevrolet Bel Air, black on red. Boy, that is sweet looking.
Mm-hmm. It's got training Dagmars on it.
Training Dagmars, yeah. Yep. So what do you think that sold for? Now, I'm going to tell you right now that my guess is it's a resto mod. So if that makes any difference to you and you're guessing of the price.
I'm guessing $62,000.
62. Mr. Mars, what would you say that would go for?
No, I'm gonna stay down around 35 because
Ooh.
looking at the steering wheel and stuff, that's factory.
Okay. Well, the actual retail price was $48,300. And that seems fitting to me for a Restomod.
Well, it could be. I
Is
mean,
it 42?
that's a sharp looking car.
48.3.
I mean, it's black. You can see down the side of it. I mean, that thing is straight.
It's clean. All right, next up is the OJ truck. The 1978 Ford Bronco in the two-toned style. It looks clean. I don't know how many miles it's got on it. Probably a million.
sharp.
It does. It looks pretty good. I'm not a big fan of green, but whatever. 78 Ford Bronco. No, I
That was
got
pointed.
it. Uh-huh. It's right on the cutting edge. How's that?
There you go. Very
Ford Bronco.
good.
78 Ford Bronco. How much?
How fast does it go?
2 miles an hour for hours. I would say I'm going to go with those. Are still pretty popular. I'm going to say 18.
I'll go 15, but I think Mike's got it.
$30,450.
Sold.
That's what they sold it for. The next one is for all of you. Al. Oh, Matthew. Oh, would you bring me the car?
Is that a Morgan?
It's a Morgan. A 1959 Morgan. +4. I don't know what +4 means. They ain't going to have 4 seats in it, I can tell you
No.
that. So, a 1959 Morgan +4. What do you think? I just threw this in here because I think that every once in a while we need to get a little edumacation.
Man, those almost look like real wire spoke knockoffs.
They probably are. I like the bug eye effect.
How much?
I'm going to go. It's a 6-figure car.
You think?
I think so. I'm going to go 110.
Man, I was thinking like 50 was a bunch.
Okay.
26.5 is what it
Well, we
went for.
bought 7 of them.
And our last one.
Got a whole herd.
This is my
An Artemis
choice.
herd.
This is my choice for cars.
There you go.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is a 1950 Curtis Craft Midget. Clearly not street legal. This is a little bitty race car from back in the day. Boy, if I had the money, I would buy this tonight.
Banuski race cars. That's what it says there.
Yes,
See that?
Budnewski.
And they're out of Buffalo, New York.
There you go.
The owner of my company lives in
This is a Curtis Craft Midget. Now, I assume that it's got a motor in it that fits the Curtis Craft Midget stuff, okay? Which would probably be, what, a 4-cylinder? Probably.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it's a dirt track car. What do you think that it's sold for? Little race car.
Wow, that's a tough one there.
Just because of what it is, I would say 20. Just because
Okay. What would you say, Jeffrey?
I'm going to go 18.
How about 14,175? If I'd have had 14,175 just laying around in a heap with nothing to do, I'd buy that car.
well, that
You can't do anything with it. Drive it around the parking lot on a Sunday, I guess. when
Or
there's
in a
nobody in it.
parade or something like that.
Yeah.
But
parades.
okay. $14,000 to put a car in the parade?
I don't know.
I don't know. I think that's a very cool car. That's one of
like
those.
a little collectible thing.
Uh-huh. And teach a kid how to drive in the parking lot on a Sunday afternoon. That'd be fun.
From the Banuski.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. Coming up, Jeff has the cruise in and events calendars, and I'll have the stories making automotive news headlines this week. Thanks for joining us on the award-winning N-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. We continue in 2 minutes. I think.
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
The Tex-Mex dining experience is defined by Lupi Tortilla, your destination for Texas's best beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. Since 1983, Lupi Tortilla has served authentic and time-tested recipes made with the freshest ingredients. Atmosphere is part of the award-winning experience at Lupi Tortilla, all developed in a little house near Highway 6 and I-10 in West Houston. Visit any of the Lupi Tortillas and you'll see the same attention to detail in each and every location. Start your Lupi experience with queso flammeado and guacamole, along with a classic frozen margarita. Dine on famous Lupi beef and chicken fajitas, or pepper shrimp brochette, or a fish or vegetarian entree, and finish with a scrumptious flan for dessert. Find Lippy Tortilla in Houston, College Station, Beaumont, Austin, San Antonio, and Dallas-Fort Worth. There's a Texas location near you. The recipes are authentic and time-tested. The ingredients always fresh. Lippy Tortilla, he's pretty good. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com.
So I'm having to break them up over here. They're fighting. Tammy's got the sniffles, and we're going to be talking to her
She's
about
so
her
happy
allergies
to be
here
on
in
the
just a
air with
few
us.
minutes. Yeah, we see you over there. All right. Hey, we hope you'll join us on the upcoming Hot Rod Tour of Texas beginning April 24th in Victoria. You'll get all the latest from the tour all weekend long. Saturday, the 26th, we'll be streaming our live show from the tour stop at Spindle Tap Brewery right here in Houston. And we thank you for joining us today on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Time now for Jeff's Cruise In and Events calendars.
You betcha. Next week, we've got the Clear Lake Cars and Coffee. It's a ministry outreach group from Grace Church in Houston. They're located at 14505 Gulf Freeway in Houston. It goes from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. on the March 15th. Please respect all the property, no burnouts, don't get a little crazy, all that good stuff there. Also, on the 15th, you've got the Conroe Cruisers Saturday Night Cruise, which are always fun to do up there. It's a free cruise-in. It's every first and third Saturday from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Kroger Marketplace parking lot. Go in there and get yourself some groceries and have fun and go on the cruise. That's at 341 South Loop, 336 West in Conroe. And then on Sunday, you've got the March Hot Rod Madness event that takes place on the 16th at the Angry Elephant. It's hosted by the Champions Hot Rod Car Club.
Grrr.
Sponsored by Gateway. It's a $35 entry fee. Trophies for first, second, third be awarded. You got original, traditional, modified, and so on. 50-50 drawing, and that is at 730 FM 1488 in Magnolia. And then our cruising stuff, of course, we've got Tammy Dooley on the line right now. We're going to go see her very soon. We got the Hot Rod Tour of Texas, and we've got some other stuff coming in. And Don, this is hot off the press this morning from you. You've got the Redneck and Paychecks Off-Road, Rednecks and Paychecks Off-Road event. It's a spring break for 2025. It is 90 minutes north of Fort Worth. It's a 4-day event, 1,200 acres of mud and mayhem. The VIP camping is on sale, going on right now. So if you got a VIP camper, you can go up there and you race little plastic
Kid cars.
Your
cars
Barbie
down a
car.
hill, and you risk life and limb. So go ahead, sign
I
up
laughed
now.
till I cried about these idiots that do this.
Go from
And
13th to 16th.
If I were 20 years old again, I would be in that every weekend.
St. Joe, Texas. So yeehaw up there in St. Joe. Go ahead, break a leg.
Right. Yes, so to speak. All right, some of the stories making automotive news headlines this week. Hyundai, Kia, and Genesis each posted higher U.S. sales last month behind gains for crossovers, hybrids, and electric vehicles. Mazda and Subaru also increased, while Ford, Toyota, and Honda all posted declines. Sales rose 2.8% for Hyundai, 7.2% for Kia. It was the fifth consecutive gain in monthly sales year over year and the fifth straight month of record sales for both brands. Hyundai said sales of hybrid vehicles jumped 57% last month, while sales of electrified vehicles grew 35%.
That's still pretty high.
Very high. I normally don't do stories like this, but I thought it was interesting. Mercedes-Benz is developing a new combustion engine, becoming the latest automaker to slow its electric car push in response to sluggish sales. The German company's AMG Performance Division is working on a next-gen V8 powertrain, changing course on a previous decision to stop developing engines running in on fossil fuels. It'll be accompanied by a small battery and electric motor for additional power. Mercedes had already signaled a shift in direction. Company recently pushed back in electrification targets by 5 years, reaffirming investment in combustion engines. The automaker now expects hybrids and EVs to comprise half of sales by 2030. The original target, set in 2021, envisioned predominantly all-electric lineup by 2025. This is 2025. How's that electric sales thing going for you? Not so much.
Up 35%.
This is a story I've got to pass along. The McGuire family of dealerships didn't get a thank you from the city of Syracuse, New York, after cleaning up a long vacant industrial property that had become an overgrown eyesore. Instead, the dealership group got a lawsuit.
What?
The city said the group didn't have the required permits and threatened to fine the group $100 a day for each violation, potentially accounting to tens of thousands of dollars, but after more than a year of discussions, reached a settlement that drops any financial penalty. McGuire agreed to retroactively obtain and pay for the permits, including a stormwater pollution prevention plan and county approval to modify the bank of an adjacent creek. Okay. Philip McGuire, the group's second-generation president, said his company had now applied for the permits and expected to get approval within weeks. We plan to finish cleaning up the site this spring once we have some better weather. Are you kidding me?
So in the big picture, they
You know
went and helped the city out by cleaning an eyesore up that
Yeah.
everyone sees, and
Yeah.
they're the ones that are the bad guy?
Yeah.
Typical.
Dude, I think that I would find me another city to sell my
Yeah.
Hyundai Kias and
Yep.
Genesis in.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, and
Going
just-
across the road.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's
what
ridiculous.
What a bunch of baloney that
Yeah.
is.
There's a lot of baloney going on in the world these
There
days.
is. And you're partially responsible for it.
I contribute all I can.
I know you do. You are what we call the meat grinder.
The baloney guy.
What?
Tammy's enjoying it.
What?
Yeah.
Why are you
She's eating a bologna sandwich.
Why are you pointing at her?
Well, because I was trying to get her attention and tell her that.
Well, that's not going to get it.
Well, I know, but I just even sent her a text. But,
Did you?
Yeah, I was going to ask her to restart her
frozen,
internet
yeah.
because it keeps freezing up,
I see.
and she's
She's working
there.
on
I
it.
see some eye movement there.
There you go.
Yeah, but that's about it because it's dropping frames.
Okay. Well,
Oh, now she's yelling at you. You did it now, Mike. Oh, boy.
this is going to be a good
Oh,
interview.
man,
I
it's
can
going to
tell
be a
already.
good
Yeah.
Mike's in trouble.
As he always
Yeah.
is and always should be. We'd love to hear from you. Just shoot us an email. The address here is info@inwheeltime.com. Back after this.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. You own a car you love. It's time for the 47th Annual Corvette Chevy Expo in Galveston, Saturday and Sunday, March 15th and 16th at the Galveston Island Convention Center. This premier indoor event features iconic Chevrolets, from classic Camaros to America's sports car Corvette. See over 135 displays, automotive vendors, and unique finds at the expansive swap meet. You'll also see the all-handmade Galveston Craft Show, featuring over 100 local artisans. Be part of this Chevy celebration, March 15th and 16th. For tickets, visit Corvette Chevy Expo.
Friday.
Oh, my God. Leave it to Don
I'm going
Armstrong.
back to work.
From Studio A, inside the much ballyhooed Texas Sugar Shack, this is the award-winning In-Wheel Time Car Talk
The
Show.
three-legged ballyhoo is what it is.
Just ahead, we visit with the Hot Rod Queen of Granbury
Right.
to get the skinny on the upcoming Lone Star Street Rod Association State Run. Also, I'll give you my thoughts Not that you want them.
No, we don't.
On driving the 2025 Toyota Crown.
Did you like it?
And Jeff has the Motor Minute on the
What
In
is
Wheel
it?
Time Car
Crown.
Talk Show.
What?
What? Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars. We always need more Jeff Zekin, Chief Engineer David Ainsley, and yours truly, Don Armstrong. And I shouldn't even. Hi, my name is Mike Silman. I am so sorry that I even was born.
I don't think we should do any more Friday shows.
You know, there's
No.
something very strange
It
about
is
this.
about this, yeah.
It is, yeah.
Because we got to bug out of town this afternoon, and
Why are we bugging out of town this afternoon?
We're going to a concert in Austin, but we're leaving everything in Mike's hands for the
Well, here,
weekend.
just to make everybody jealous, we're going to see.
Rod Stewart.
We're going to go to a Rod Stewart concert. Who doesn't love Rod Stewart? Tammy Dooley loves Rod Stewart. Let's talk to Tammy
I got
Dooley.
Kathy tickets for Christmas, so this is the event. There you go.
This is it?
Yeah, this is it.
Hi, Tammy Dooley. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom's monarch and appointed queen of hot rodding in Granbury, Texas, Tammy Dooley, the director of the Granbury Convention and Visitors Bureau. How is that for an introduction?
Uh-oh.
Oh, God, are you muted? You're muted. We can't hear a word that you're saying.
You have to start the show over now.
Well, you know, like I said, this has been an absolute mess. Did you like your introduction?
Yeah.
There she is.
Did you like your...
I love the introduction. As a matter of fact, I don't know. I need to put you on staff. That's great.
Well, you're very welcome. What I'm thinking is that next time that you get some sort of award, which you get many of all the time, because I've seen them online, that I think that you need to have me come up there, and I will be your introductor. How's that?
I love that. I love that. I love that. It is so great to see you all. I cannot believe that it is already time to talk about Lone Star Street Rod Association.
What is it about the Street Rod Association that you love so much?
You know, we have a lot of great events here in Granbury, but this one is so showy for the community because you start seeing the cars arrive all over town and everybody gets excited and starts, you know, the buzz starts. What's going on? Who is that? What are they doing? And if they're not familiar with it, but most of our community is by now. It's hundreds of people for several days.
Hundreds
And
of
they start
old
driving
people.
into Town, you start that, hey, we love all people. And
Yeah.
so it is perfect.
Yeah.
We have a lot of youth events too, but this one is fabulous.
Now, do you put up the big banner across the highway there right in front of the park that says, "Welcome Lone Star Street Rod Association"?
We do. Every year we try to do something they do not expect. One year we always have a street fair that welcomes them, but one year a whole bunch of them were staying at our Hilton Hotel, which they do, and we had a big pontoon boat on the lake with a banner on both sides of it going back and forth that said, "We love Lone Star Street Rod Association," so that everyone could look out their hotel room windows and see that on Sunday. So every year it's something new.
Yeah, well, with fewer and fewer people because we're all dying off left and right, as you probably have noticed.
Easy.
Sorry, I had to.
Yeah,
I had to just got to throw that in there.
Hopefully they have done, I understand, internally a lot of things to attract younger members into the show. And so their numbers are not going down at all. So we really love them. And this year is a big year. It's their 50th anniversary. And so we have all kind of things just being kicked around that is some of which they'll know about, some of which will be a surprise. We want to make sure they celebrate in a big way.
Tammy, when is that event? It's in June, isn't it?
It's in June. It's Father's Day weekend. And the dates this year are the 13th through the 15th. And I hope you will all be there on site. We always love having you there. I think our crowd now has adopted y'all to come be here every year. So I hope you're going to be here.
Well, yeah, I guess they probably wouldn't tell her that, but yes, we've been invited. We don't know why they keep inviting us back, but we love coming up there, and we love our little road trip up to Granbury. Let me put it that way.
And this year, I think we're going to spend an extra day because I think the ladies want to be more involved in the city and all the events that Tammy's got going on for the women of the hot rodders, and I think there's a lot of other stuff going on beyond just the hot rod scene.
Well, and that's what basically we wanted to talk to you about because, I really didn't know that much about Granbury. Granbury is one of those places that I would think, forgive me if I'm wrong, and you'll correct me, I know that if I am, that it's more of a weekend vacation destination for Fort Worth and Dallas. Am I correct?
I would, well, for Texas.
You are very correct. It is fascinating studying who really comes to visit Granbury. We have people from all over the country all of the time, but no matter how you slice it or dice it, the majority of our business comes from the Dallas-Fort Worth market because we are such a convenient getaway. Less than an hour from that huge market. It's so big, and it encompasses all those cities in the Metroplex. And so, yes, frequently the difference is that years ago, people would drive in and they would come to dinner or, stay the day and shop and then go home. And now there's so much to do, they come for the weekend. So they'll stay at least one night, if not 2 nights, and make it a long weekend. And then they can quickly get back to business in the Metroplex. So yes, tourism is our number one industry here.
Well, and there's several reasons. It's a charming little city. Is that the county seat downtown?
What do you mean the county seat?
The courthaus down at the square?
Is the courthouse down in the square?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So Granbury is the county seat.
It's very interesting. The county is Hood County, and it is in the center of the city is the courthouse, and that little square on the inside is county property. But the sidewalks on the outside and all the businesses are city property.
Well, I mean, that makes sense. And
So
when you try to explain the way that Texas is, all of the little cities that we go to, whether it's the Hot Rod Tour of Texas or Lone Star Street Rod Association coming up there to Granbury, that's the main central focus, because you have to understand when these cities became cities, they would put the county seat there in the middle. It'd be town square, and all of the farmers, whether they're cattle ranchers making wheat or whatever it is that they've got, they all came to town because that was where you went. We didn't have Walmarts out in the suburbs and that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And so there's a lot of Texas towns similar to Granbury. But the one thing that Granbury does have that is in addition to that wonderful town square is the lake.
It sits right on the lake, and you are right about the town square. We're very fortunate that we have a town square. A lot of communities are Main Street towns where they have one large Main Street going through that's historic, which is great. But having a town square gives it a little bit of a European vibe. And then we were actually the first town square to be listed on the historic registry, the entire square. So it's been, becoming a destination for years. And then coupled with the fact we're on a lake, right here within walking distance, you can see it from everywhere. It just adds to our charm.
Absolutely.
Now, you haven't lived there all your life. What did you think the first time that you rolled into little Granbury, Texas?
I've always loved Granbury. I moved to the area. I've had a house here since 1993, even though I was working somewhere else. And it was a small, quaint town, and they had a lot of leaders that worked. That was in like 93, 94, 95. Everyone has been working hard to really showcase the tourism effort. And now, fast forward all these years, it's unrecognizable what the leadership has accomplished here. We have everything we've ever wished for as far as success. And there's a lot of people that made that possible. A lot of city councils, a lot of mayors, a lot of county officials. So we're very fortunate. We now have a population of just over 11,000, but the communities that are right up next to us take us up to about 75,000. Lot of retirees, but we are attracting more young families. A lot of second homes, a lot of homes on the lake, a lot of country club communities. So it's really nice.
Yeah, don't we know that? Our visits up there have really opened our eyes to something other than San Antonio,
Right.
Austin,
Right.
Hill country.
Yeah, hill country, because this is really on the northern edge of the hill country, if you want to call it that, and it's south of Fort Worth, so you don't have all of the traffic jams up there like you do, and it's a wonderful little place and a very welcoming town as well.
Now, a couple of years ago, you had to leave the show early because you were welcoming a new grandbaby. You got any more on the way?
Not yet, but I have, yes, I have one getting ready to turn 2. I actually have a
That's
great
the one.
grandbaby from my oldest grandchild. And so he turns 2 Sunday, actually, we're having the party Saturday, but the grandbaby you're referring to was born on the 11th of June in Angel Fire. So if you remember, I took off and after your show and ran to Angel Fire and had the baby, and so he'll be 2 this June 11th. So that's how I always know. It was same weekend around Lone Star Street Ride, so that's great.
I'm amazed.
I had a good memory.
Yeah.
Your turn, Mars.
You
Now,
too.
I was just thinking that, back to what Don was saying and Jeff, about the town and the way you're talking about it being out on the lake. Last year we got to walk around the square a little bit again, and it always amazes me the new stuff. There's lots of shops down there, but the theaters. They're now concert venues. Mm-hmm. And I can't remember exactly who was playing at one of it, but the billboards outside.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of people coming over from Dallas. So there's a big music scene there, as well as just the shopping and things that go around dinner, around the square. And then we stopped at the lake last year on the way out of town.
You did, and you got thrown out because you had on those Speedos, and they don't allow those up there.
Well, we're going to try something different this year.
We ate at the marina. We had lunch at the marina.
Yeah, it was really nice. A lot of people there, and it was right there on the water. Mm-hmm.
Did I join you?
Yeah, you were
Yeah,
there.
you were there.
This is what happens.
I think that
Too many margaritas.
biggest change is you were referring to years ago. The downtown was more boutiques that were souvenir shops and that kind of shopping, and now it is a combination. There's a huge vibe going on with music and restaurants and bars, and we restored the new Nut House Hotel and lots of lodging on the square and the upstairs, and we have all these luxurious hotel properties, and so there's always something to do. And then I think this weekend we have Fleetwood Mac at the new Granbury Live, so I mean it's the place to be.
Dang.
It's the place to be.
Yes, I wanted to talk to you for just a moment about the Nut House Hotel. And that is the original name of that hotel, if I'm not mistaken.
It is. The founders, one of the founding fathers of Granbury were 2 brothers, and their last name were Nutt. And believe it or not, they were blind. And they became very wealthy and owned a mercantile and all of these great locations in Granbury, a lot of historical buildings. So they built that hotel, and it has been, iconic in Granbury. And then we had someone buy it and going to restore it. It's got a wonderful history. A few years ago, and in the process of restoration, it was almost completed, and it burned to the ground.
Oh, wow.
On the inside, except for the structure. And a wonderful family, the Thomas family, they bought it and really poured their heart and soul into it. And it really is just a passion project for them because they love Granbury so much. So it is first class. They restored it to a condition you cannot imagine. And I will tell you, when you're here, you have to go in the men's restroom.
Well, thank you for that. I've never been invited into a restroom before, but now I have.
Been thrown out of a couple of them.
I have been thrown out of a couple. Oh, Tammy,
Those weren't the men's, though. Those weren't the men's.
Oh, well,
Okay, so we're going to go into the men's room, and what should we expect to see there? I mean, is it going to be other men? Or?
Don't you know?
Okay, I'll give you a hint.
Okay,
I'll give you a hint.
yeah.
You go the entire downstairs is a very famous restaurant called Christina's. The chef is Gary Folger, first class cuisine. And I think, yes, last year when you were here, they were still located in their other location across the square. Now they have moved into the Nut House Hotel, and it's called Christina's. You'll want to make reservations in advance. It's sold out all the time. And the restroom on the downstairs level, on the upstairs are hotel rooms. On the downstairs level is the men's restroom. One of the rumors in Granbury for years is there was a secret passageway from the bottom of that building to a historic home here that is now a museum. And when they were doing the renovation, they unearthed something, and you have to walk on a glass floor to use the restroom.
Okay.
Alrighty.
You know, there I can go with.
I hope that went through, because
I can. My mind is racing right now.
I want to know how she knows what's going on in the men's room.
Well, there's that, and no cameras allowed. By the way,
no.
So there is that too.
So the funny thing is, when the restroom is not being occupied, they encourage everyone to go in, and you will constantly see a stream of women going in the restroom. So it's taking pictures.
Oh God! Do you have any idea who you're talking to? Did you lose track of that? You know that there's no good place for this to go. You know that,
Especially
I
with
know,
us.
but I always want to make sure you're in the know when you come to
Well,
Granbury.
thank you.
We're in the
And,
know. All right.
now we are.
Now we know.
So
I'm going to go home and tell my wife we're going to Granbury. We're going to make sure we go in the men's restroom this
That's
year.
right.
I am putting a glass floor in my bathroom.
Yeah,
I'm going to do that.
So, Tammy, we want reservations for 8 to Christina's that Saturday night that we're there. Can we get it?
I will take care of it.
All I want is reservations, and then we would love that because we're always looking for something new and different, and we can talk about it on the show and all that sort of stuff.
Oh gosh, I will make sure 8:00 on Saturday night.
Okay.
And I
Party of
will
8.
get you set up.
Friday night.
Yep.
Friday
Party of
night?
8.
Friday night or Saturday night?
Because
Friday or Saturday.
if we're going to talk on the show,
Well, not on that show.
Oh,
I mean,
okay,
for
okay,
future
okay.
shows. But
Yeah, yeah.
but you guys said that you were going to stay Saturday night now. Now, you want to
Yeah.
go Friday night or you want to go Saturday night?
well, by the time we got to get up there and get set up, you're right. Saturday night.
Saturday
Things
night.
happen on
Thank
Friday.
you. See, this is what I have to go through with Mars all the time, and that's why we keep him locked up in the men's restroom. Tammy, we love you. Thank you. We're going to look forward to talking to you on Father's Day weekend at the Lone Star Street Rod Association, where we will be live and in living color in Granbury, Texas.
Thank you.
Thank you, honey. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
It's always good to talk to her.
Awesome lady.
Yes,
awesome.
most
Awesome.
definitely.
I swear, I'm gonna when I get home, I'm gonna tell my wife
You
we're
know
going
what?
to.
You know what, Mars? I don't know as if I would even open my trap about anything anymore. At least today, I think I just do it. Christina's.
Yep.
Got it.
Okay. And the men's restroom. Don't forget
Just
it.
have everybody tune in, and they'll know the routine.
They'll
so.
know something's up. Hey, I just had a review of the 2025 Toyota Crown and Jeff's Motor Minute after a quick break.
The Tex-Mex dining experience is defined by Lupi Tortilla, your destination for Texas's best beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. Since 1983, Lupi Tortilla has served authentic and time-tested recipes made with the freshest ingredients. Atmosphere is part of the award-winning experience at Lupi Tortilla, all developed in a little house near Highway 6 and I-10 in West Houston. Visit any of the Lupi Tortillas and you'll see the same attention to detail in each and every location. Start your Lupi experience with queso flammeado and guacamole, along with a classic frozen margarita. Dine on famous Lupi beef and chicken fajitas, or pepper shrimp brochette, or a fish or vegetarian entree, and finish with a scrumptious flan for dessert. Find Lupi Tortilla in Houston, College Station, Beaumont, Austin, San Antonio, and Dallas-Fort Worth. There's a Texas location near you. The recipes are authentic and time-tested. The ingredients always fresh. Lupi Tortilla, he's pretty good. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com.
Hey, this is an invitation for you to come along with us on the upcoming Hot Rod Tour of Texas, April 24th through the 27th, beginning in Victoria. We have links to their site on InWheelTime.com and the In Wheel Time Facebook page. Be sure and follow us there. All right, time now for the Motor Minute. Jeff has that.
You bet. This involves Cadillac Andretti F1 team. If you were to put money on an American driver who would race for the Andretti F1 team, 21-year-old Colton Herta would be the logical choice. I like this kid. Herta, the son of IndyCar team owner Brian Herta, is the series' youngest race winner, clearly viewed as favorable by the Andretti family. Mario has compared Herta to the young version of Max Verstappen and Sebastian Vettel, which are extremely good F1 drivers. So that's the guy I'm putting my money on. That's the one they're putting all their money on to be one of the drivers. They're going to pick another one, but he's the youngest to be in Formula One. He's doing some testing and all that stuff. Now, St. Petersburg Indy race was last weekend. I think he finished 8th or 9th. He had some struggles with a couple of incidents and maybe some pit road stuff. But he's the guy I'm looking forward to seeing run in Formula One, and God bless him. He's got my support.
Very good. Time now for this hour's car review. I had a chance to drive the 2025 Toyota Crown. Mm-hmm. Now, what is a Crown? Well, it's not necessarily new. This is about the third year of the Crown. I had never seen one before. I looked forward to getting it, and I finally got it, and I was impressed.
Good.
Aichi, Japan is its final assembly location. Trim levels include the XLE, the Limited, the Nightshade, and the Platinum. I had the Platinum. This is what is considered a mid or full-size sedan. It's kind of a gray area, but this is one good-looking vehicle. That almost looks like your car.
Almost.
It sits up higher. I'll get into that in a minute. The stance gives a little hint of a crossover SUV. It's very different. If you were to look at it, you'd go, well, is it an SUV? No. It's called a sedan, but you have to be the decider in that. Squinty headlights, a big part of the upper grille, oversized lower grille, typical for Toyota. A black accent panel highlights the side body sculpting. It's a very nice touch that I'm normally not into that sort of thing, but it really adds to the look of this. High zoot roof line with a narrow C-pillar. Odd cut line around the trunk and rear bumper. Kind of distracts from the premium look, but overall it seems to work. What I liked about it, the overall shape of it gets high marks in my opinion. What could use improvement? Well, charging $425 for premium paint on top of a $350 upcharge for the two-tone paint is just a little bit too much for me.
That would be.
Yeah. Interior highlights, 12.3-inch infotainment screen with an easy operating system. Vertical phone charger is brilliant in the center console because it doesn't take up lots of room. You pop your phone right there at the head of the center console, and it right straight down it goes. Just the top inch of it is showing through it, so they let you know that your phone is in there and it's charging. Comfortable, high-quality seating with big, always open sunroof. I know. This is Texas, friends. Gets to be 100 degrees here for quite some time during the big 3-4 months of the year. Adequate rear seat leg room. Good-sized trunk room for road trip luggage. What I liked, great interior design on this sedan. What could use improvement? Combine the instrument cluster with the infotainment screen would be my suggestion to Toyota. Engine, it's a hybrid max 2.4-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine with electric. Horsepower, 340. Pound-feet of torque, 400, all through a 6-speed automatic transmission. This is a full-time all-wheel drive vehicle. 29 miles per gallon in the city, 32 on the highway for combined to 30. I got 29.1 miles per gallon over 315 per 6 miles. What I liked about it, the mileage and the power. What can use improvement? Big question mark. I wrote myself over here going, I don't know what could use improvement. It's a great power package on there. Ride and handling? Well, I like the $1 million ride quality. What could use improvement in the ride and handling? Nothing. It's perfect. Don't touch it. It goes down the road wonderfully. Price. Base trim price, $54,990. Price is tested, $58,169. Base model price, $41,440. So, what compares to it? It's kind of got a niche of its own. Honda Accord starts at $28,295. The Toyota Camry, its cousin, $28,900. And the Genesis G70 starts at $42,500. So it would be really its closest price-wise. But I really did like this car. I mean, I'm not a big sedan guy, never have been. But if you're looking at sedans, man, this is the one to get. I'm telling you, go and look at it and ride in it. Take yourself a test drive, go down the freeway, go down rough roads, whatever the case may be. Man, they have got that ride quality in this thing down to a T.
Very good.
It's impressive.
Yeah. I'm not too...
Mars, have you had this car yet?
No.
Look at that. You have to put a headset on.
The price-
Imagine that.
Well, I was trying not to make too much noise by putting my headset
Well, you've
back
already
on.
done that.
Okay. No, I did not. I did not even know this car existed until you said you had one.
Yeah. Well, I knew that it existed, but I didn't know that it existed in the press fleet. So,
Hold on a second.
anyway, that is my review. The 2025 Toyota Crown. Go see it. Go buy one. I think that you'll be impressed.
Cool.
Hey, if you'd like to get in touch with us, shoot us an email. The address here is info@inwheeltime.com. Back after this quick break.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. It's time for the 47th Annual Corvette Chevy Expo in Galveston, Saturday and Sunday, March 15th and 16th at the Galveston Island Convention Center. This premier indoor event features iconic Chevrolets, from classic Camaros to America's sports car Corvette. See over 135 displays, automotive vendors, and unique finds at the expansive swap meet. You'll also see the all-handmade Galveston Craft Show, featuring over 100 local artisans. Be part of the Chevy celebration, March 15th and 16th. For tickets, visit CorvetteChevyExpo.com.
From Studio A.
Hey,
A.
hey.
In Texas, USA. It's the only place to go for all things automotive, the award-winning in-wheel time car talk show. Just ahead, we head to Consumer Reports and their top picks on new and used cars.
These are good. These are always fun.
Later, Jeff has the racing calendar, Mars has This Week in Auto History, and I'll get you caught up on the stories making automotive news headlines. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars. We always need more Jeff Zekin. Chief Engineer David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong. Thanks so much for joining us on this special edition. It's special because
We're special.
it's a very special thing, and yes, we are in our own minds.
Yeah.
We don't know why, but we just made it all up. Let's talk to Alex.
Okay.
Alex, is your last name pronounced Knizik?
Oh, he's muted.
He's smiling, but he, for some reason, can you hear us, Alex?
I did unmute. I can hear you.
Okay, very good. Is it Alex Knizik?
It's Nizik.
Nizik.
Okay.
Well, of course it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry.
Okay, you can hear me now.
Yes, we
That's
can.
okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, where are you located? You up in Connecticut?
I am. Yep. Colchester right now. I'm sitting in one of the offices outside of our test track.
Very nice. And I just started getting my copies of Consumer Reports magazine, and in it shows the test track diagram, which is basically the one there behind you. And I'm going, wow,
Right.
this is really impressive. Do you get to drive on the test track?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I was out there earlier.
Were you?
It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how fast can you get a hot rod car up on that thing?
Oh gosh. I mean, at the end of the straightaway, somewhere down here, but a little bit below the screen. I mean, certainly over 100 miles an hour. You know, if it's a C8 Corvette, 120 is pretty easy to hit.
Nice. Well, what a
so,
sweet
yeah.
job you got. How did you get that job? I want to know.
Well, I guess if my education is some part of it, I got a background in mechanical engineering and automotive engineering, and worked at Ford for a little while. And I don't know, but beyond that, just passionate about cars for my entire life.
Well, let me just say that is very impressive. Yeah, and you're a young man, and how lucky are you? I mean, what a great job coming out of school and going to work for Ford, and then going to work for Consumer Reports. I mean, you got the best of both worlds, my friend. You get to drive all the cars now, not just Fords.
I know it is really cool to be on the testing side, right? Because you're working at Ford or one of these automotive companies, and you get very knowledgeable about their products, but you don't always get to be so hands-on with all the competitors. So yeah, now I get to really experience the whole market, or at least most of it, which is pretty awesome.
So let's talk about the top new and used car picks for 2025. So where do you want to start? Used or new?
I think new. That's, our used listing gets kind of updated pretty frequently, just because used car prices change very often, right?
Sure.
But new cars, I think, is the exciting one for
All right.
The yearly. Yeah.
Very good. Well, let's start with whatever you want to start with on the new side.
Sure. Well, I think, just quickly, it would be maybe helpful to just talk about how we pick these things in the first place, right? So there's really 4 components that go into it. If anyone's not familiar with CR, we buy all these cars and we put them through our testing. So we're an independent nonprofit organization, so a little different than press cars and whatnot. So we're buying them all. We're putting them through about 50 different tests at the track behind me here. So that's really the base of it. All these cars have to be really top performers when it comes to our road tests. And then beyond that, we're incorporating the feedback and information that we get from our member surveys. So we're looking at reliability, owner satisfaction, 2 really big ones. And then the last one is safety. We just make sure that at least at a very bare minimum, all of these cars on this list have standard automatic emergency braking. A lot of them have a lot more than, but that's kind of the minimum.
Do they all go into the same soup as sedans, coupes, SUVs, trucks? Do they all just go into one group like that?
As far as testing goes and scoring,
yes, it's coming up with the top new cars, trucks.
Sure. Yeah, I mean we have a slightly different criteria truck or something like that, right? They serve different needs, but period.
What are we going to do, Mike?
We're going to go back to the shot.
Categories on it.
Okay, well, we're having some technical issues receiving your video and your audio. And so we're going to pause you for just a minute while Mr. Mars works on that.
Okay.
All right, what are we going to do, Mr. Mars?
I want just Ethernet right there. Never mind. Go ahead.
All right. So Mr. Mars is working on our end to get you situated here. In the meantime, I was going to say that. So I got my first couple of issues of Consumer Reports, and I don't care what you say, they go through all sorts of things to test these deals. As a matter of fact, I gave you a copy where they went through the appliances because I knew that you guys just bought some new appliances at your house.
And Kathy used the book. She did some research through that and got some answers that she was looking for. So it worked out. And
in this particular issue that I just got last week, it's got a whole automotive section in there. And of course, I'm reading it word for word about absorbing everything that I can in there. All right.
Well,
so
my question is, how many? Obviously, you're involved in the car segment of it. There's other Consumer Report divisions. How many other divisions are there? Like appliances, there's cars, I'm sure there's furniture or something. How many are there?
Yeah, I actually don't know the exact number, to be honest with you, but we have a lot of different areas. Appliances and kind of the home side of things is one of the other big areas, right? There's kind of three large things: automotive, home, which is appliances and whatnot that we're talking about, and then we have the babies side where it's like car seats and that sort of thing. So now I think one kind of misconception is that the people testing the cars are also testing the dishwashers, but that's not true. I don't know anything about dishwashers. We're strictly cars up in Connecticut.
Well, and we're glad that we have you on the show. Then we've obviously hit you up at the right time of your life. So let's get through these while we have you here momentarily. Sure. Top new car picks. What are they?
Yeah. So again, a lot of different categories, and a lot of them trying to focus on something that's not so expensive. So starting at kind of the bottom of the list is the Nissan Sentra for our small car category.
Okay.
Which is a little bit of a surprise, but it really just represents a good value, right? It has the standard safety features I mentioned. It does well in our testing, especially for the class. It drives pretty well. It's relatively quiet. We see pretty good reliability. And you can get one that's well equipped for about $25,000, where, if people are paying on average $4,000 for a car these days, getting something brand new for $25,000, that's going to be pretty good. I think is a good deal.
Okay. What's next on the list?
Yeah, next we have the next two I think are similar but different sizes, right? The Subaru Crosstrek and the Subaru Forester. Both of these cars recently redesigned, but between you and I, we could probably agree they might be a heavy refresh, carrying over a lot of the powertrain components and underlying structure of these cars. But for them, it's working out because those cars did well in our testing before. They continue to do well. They're pretty straightforward. They're practical, reliable, good fuel economy. Just some of these cars are, we're in a world where there's so many touchscreen controls and complications and all these features and whatnot, and these cars are pretty simple and straightforward, and so they work for a lot of people.
Well, Subaru's hot right now across the board.
Yeah, and just dynamically, I think I'm always, and we collectively here at CR, are impressed at what Subaru does in terms of ride quality for the price. Especially the Forester, it just soaks up bumps really nice, and a lot of cars don't do that necessarily these days.
I agree with you there.
Yeah. So next, the Toyota Camry. I think the big news here, and the Toyota Camry's certainly been on our list before, but the fact that it's hybrid only now for 2025. But you know what? I think Toyota and others too have gotten so good at hybrids that other than the fact that you're getting 48 miles per gallon in this car, you probably wouldn't even know it's really a hybrid, right? It looks like a normal car. It drives for the most part like a normal car, doesn't do anything weird. So it's just very refined. They've gotten good at hybrids over time. And yeah, another car that, like those Subarus, has recently got redesigned, but it really just sticks to the Camry mission. And I'll be honest, I was surprised at how well it drives. I wouldn't call it sporty, but it's refreshing to get into a sedan these days with you're lower to the ground, and it just drives pretty well.
Well, let's
So
face it, when it
happy to
comes
see
to hybrids, you can't beat the Toyota Prius when they kind of invented the whole segment.
Yeah.
And they've been doing it for a long time.
It's interesting too with the Prius is so the Camry is so good and gets such good fuel economy at this point. The Prius starts to seem
Old school.
unnecessary.
Yeah, it does. Okay, what's next on the list?
Ford Maverick for our pickup truck.
Really?
Wow.
That does not
Yeah.
it does
And
not
the hybrid
surprise me
stuff.
because I know when I had the Maverick not too long ago, I was impressed and I thought, is it just me or is this really a nice vehicle? I thought it really is.
I mean, it really is, especially for the price. It also really just stands out. Who else is making a kind of unibody-based pickup truck like this that is super functional, but also has that hybrid option? I mean, it really stands alone. And one of our biggest, I guess I'll say a complaint of it before was that you couldn't get all-wheel drive with the hybrid. And now for 2025, they've fixed that issue. So you can get a hybrid all-wheel drive, and I mean, that really just hits the sweet spot right
Is it
there. So,
is it a full-time
really cool
all-wheel
truck.
drive system?
It is, I believe. Yeah, I believe there's a mechanical connection going to the back. I mean, probably a clutch back in the back. It's not quite Subaru, but they're not relying on an electric motor back there.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Like Toyota does.
Sure. What's next?
Speaking of Toyota, a couple others on here. RAV4 plug-in hybrid, the PHEV specifically. So it used to be called the Prime. Now they just call it the plug-in hybrid. But yeah, just a really sweet version of the RAV4. It's pretty quick. If you guys have driven this car, it has a lot of power for a compact crossover. But again, just in the spirit of trying to offer people different options, getting a plug-in hybrid on the list. This one in particular offers pretty good range for an on the EV side of things, over 40 miles. And after that, you pretty much end up with a pretty solid RAV4 hybrid once that battery charges up. So it just functions well, and then has that Toyota reliability behind it.
Yeah.
Similar with the Highlander hybrid. Not too many hybrid options for a 3-row SUV. And you get that reliability. This has been on the list before. No big changes really for it this year, but continues to perform well.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Highlander. I'm not. It's
No,
just something that doesn't really jive with me.
They've made it too big now.
Yeah,
I think that it hit the sweet spot back when it was the original. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I am interested to see where it goes from here, because with the Grand Highlander, they're really splitting hairs, right? So I do wonder if maybe the next Highlander, if there is one, will change direction a little bit. I don't know. We'll see.
So that reminds me of the Wagoneer, Grand Wagoneer. What they're doing with that, now it's a Grand Wagoneer. So
Yeah. Exactly. Well, let's move on to the short list because we're running out of time here. How about the used car selections for this week?
So we've got a Mazda 6 on here, 2016, for our pick under $10,000. And all of these used selections have to fit pretty similar criteria to the new ones. A little different, of course, because these cars are older, but meeting a standard list of safety features and our road testing and reliability. So a lot of these cars end up representing a really good value because they've depreciated a little bit more than their direct competitors while still meeting those criteria. So Mazda 6, you could imagine most people going out for a used Camry. Mazda 6 kind of goes under the radar a little bit, but ultimately still a really good car. About 30 miles per gallon, that type of thing. So just a solid mid-size sedan there.
Sure.
After that, the Toyota Corolla, probably not a huge surprise, 2018. So this is in the prior generation, 2014 to 2019. And of course, you're going to get that pretty rock solid Toyota reliability with this thing.
Yep.
And we see them priced in between $12,000 to $15,000. So it's kind of coming in that under $15,000 price there. After that, we got the 2016 CRV. Just the regular one, not the hybrid one here, but yeah, high owner satisfaction, high reliability, pretty good road test score on that one. So that's our SUV under 15,000. Then getting a little bit more into higher price cars, hybrid under 20,000, the Toyota Camry hybrid.
Right.
Oh, we froze.
That
He froze up.
appeal, it went up a little bit. After that, we've got the Kia Sportage, so our small SUV under $20,000. This is a 2021, which I kind of like this one because it's towards the end of the generation for that Sportage. So it was like right before the new one came out, basically. And what's good about that is we generally see just the trend is that as these vehicles age throughout their generation, they tend to get more reliable at the end. So if you can get a good deal on a model that, you know, is kind of at the end of that generation's run,
Sure.
it can often work out.
And I agree with you 100% there. Yeah.
I mean, we hear it from the automakers directly all the time that they, you know, as you guys know, they are working on refinements both on the manufacturing side, the design side, and that all comes together. Let's see, towards the end here, we've got hybrid SUV under 20,000, Toyota RAV4. This is, again, the previous generation RAV4, 2016 to 2018. So you can get a 2018 kind of coming in right under that $20,000 mark, get, you know, into the 30 miles per gallon area with something like that, which is pretty awesome. Kind of like the Mazda 6, the next one, the Mazda CX-9 is one of those under the radar choices, right? We know 3-row SUVs are pretty hot right now as far as a segment, right? People are going after those, the reason the Grand Highlander exists. So one that kind of goes forgotten, but is reliable, tests well in our program, and people tend to like. So it's that 2016 to 2023 CX-9. And yeah, a couple others on the list. I think I'll skip ahead a little bit, but the Mazda Miata is on a list of ours somewhere almost all the time.
That, you know,
It's a great car.
yeah,
So 2019 you can get.
I was just going to say that is almost a no-brainer these days. I mean, it certainly has proven itself from the day that it rolled off the first one on the factory and to today. What a great vehicle, and for a decent price and a lot of fun.
For sure. Yeah, and they keep making refinements, and it's nice to see. I mean, you can get a 2019 specifically under 20,000. So that was after they kind of bumped the horsepower up in 2018 and made some other changes, so you can kind of get that the refreshed version.
And hey,
so to speak,
if worse
for less
comes
than
to worse, you
20,000.
could always get it on the track and go to some SCCA event on the weekend after you've driven to work, back and forth to work all week.
purpose.
Yeah, dual purpose buy.
There you go.
Well, Alex, it's great to talk to you. We thank you so much for taking the time for us today with the new and used top vehicle picks 2025 for Consumer Reports. Again, great to talk to you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Likewise, one more thing before I go. We do have cr.org/car/in-wheel time, and that gets you, if you go to that link, you'll get $10 off a CR subscription.
I wish that I would have done
we
that.
are a promo code.
I know we got our own promo code.
Thank you.
Alex, we love it. Where did you go to college?
I went to Western New England in Springfield, and then I went to Clemson after that.
Look at you. You go, boy. We love it. It's great to talk to you, my friend. Thank you very much. Appreciate your knowledge.
All right, take care, guys.
You do the same. Alex Nizick with
What a guy.
Consumer Reports. Just ahead, Jeff has the racing calendar. Mars has This Week in Auto History and this week's automotive news headlines, all coming up on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Back in a flash.
The Tex-Mex dining experience is defined by Lupi Tortilla, your destination for Texas's best beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. Since 1983, Lupi Tortilla has served authentic and time-tested recipes made with the freshest ingredients. Atmosphere is part of the award-winning experience at Lupi Tortilla, all developed in a little house near Highway 6 and I-10 in West Houston. Visit any of the Lupi Tortillas and you'll see the same attention to detail in each and every location. Start your Lupi experience with queso flammeado and guacamole, along with a classic frozen margarita. Dine on famous Lupi beef and chicken fajitas, or pepper shrimp brochette, or a fish or vegetarian entree, and finish with a scrumptious flan for dessert. Find Lupi Tortilla in Houston, College Station, Beaumont, Austin, San Antonio, and Dallas-Fort Worth. There's a Texas location near you. The recipes are authentic and time-tested. The ingredients always fresh. Lupi Tortilla, he's pretty good. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com.
You're going to the Hot Rod Tour of Texas?
I am.
Be sure and follow the In Wheel Time team as we join over 300 other enthusiasts beginning April 24th as we trek across Texas. Get the info link at inwheeltime.com and our In Wheel Time Facebook page.
wonder if
Okay,
there's any
time
spots
now
left.
for the racing calendar sponsored
yeah.
by the Texas Muscle Car Club Challenge. Jeff.
Thank you for that. Now, guess what's happening this weekend? Started yesterday. NHRA season started for 2025. They are this week at the Gator Nationals at the Gainesville Raceway.
Been there.
Now, I don't know what channel it's on. It's either on FS1
FS2.
or FS2. So there you go. You can tune into that. NASCAR is in Phoenix. So that's going on Sunday. That's the big boys. The Xfinity guys, the smaller group, is on. That's tomorrow in Phoenix. And then you got the Craftsman trucks are going next week to Las Vegas. So that's pretty cool for them. And then next week also you got the 12 hours of Sebring. So that's going to be fun as well. So tune into all that racing. It's coming up.
Okay. Time now for This Week in Auto History, Mr. Mars.
Yeah, we got several different stories here that I found were very interesting and learned some new stuff. For example, on March 2nd, 1933, Ford introduces their V8, flathead V8, over to Europe. Now,
What year was that?
1933. Don't you remember? You were on that boat.
I was.
And so, and what it did, it so outpowered, it was so much more powerful than what they had with the engines they'd been using that it really made a change in that entire industry over in the European cars because they started building bigger, more powerful cars. Now, in 1931, the American Automobile Association published the first nationwide highway map. And this is really significant because it became a crucial tool for the expanding era of automobile travel. As the highways connected cities and states, you had to figure out how to get there from where to here. And therefore, the map detailed the major routes that promoted safer, more efficient long-distance travel.
Was there a reason that you picked Southern New England to have for the video?
I did, because this was a map in 1920, something like that. But
9.
yeah, and it shows just how crowded things were. If you were an individual trying to figure out how to get across there, it was just a nice blown up to see how the maps and the roads were. If you didn't have a map and didn't know where you were going,
You were screwed.
you were. Plus, you didn't have anything to collect and put in the back seat whenever you stopped the service
Well,
station.
not only that, but you probably had to go and get another set of glasses because you can't read the dang map. It's so small.
That's what people were dealing with. So
Next week is gonna
the
be
map really made a big change in the way that we were able to travel. Now,
The invention of the magnifying glass.
yes, this next one, in 1997, Toyota began the production of the Prius. Now, this is the first mass-produced hybrid car, and it really changed the way things were done in the industry as far as creating the hybrids. They still make this thing. It became a symbol
Not
of
that particular
No.
one.
But it became a symbol of sustainable driving, influencing automotive industry shift towards hybrid and electric vehicles, making things energy-efficient transportation. And the first generation Prius was the first mass-produced hybrid vehicle. Now, the 1969 Pontiac introduced the Trans Am. Now, this was a high-performance version of the Firebird designed for both street and track use. Now, it was named after the Trans-American Racing Series, had a Ram Air 400 V8s, upgraded suspension, several aerodynamic enhancements, and it was produced in limited numbers, but it was basically go racing on the weekend and sell cars on Monday type of thing. Now, another vehicle that made a significant impact on automotive history, 1936, the Volkswagen Beetle is approved for production. Now, Adolf Hitler did the approval on this project because he envisioned an affordable people's car that was designed by Ferdinand Porsche. The Beetle was a rear-mounted air-cooled engine.
Ferdinand
Porsche. And one of the things it was designed for, that he wanted a vehicle that everybody could afford, 2 adults, 3 children. Now, this vehicle started being built in 1935, and they built it the same Type 1, basically same platform, till 2003, 21.5
Don't you know
million cars.
That car right there, that Volkswagen Beetle, ticked off Henry Ford like no tomorrow?
Oh, you got to know it. I mean, but like I say, it was because of the size and what they were after, and I thought, 2 adults and 3 kids? Well, almost 100 years ago, people were smaller. So it made a little more sense, particularly over in the European where the roads are narrow and stuff, to do this.
I resemble that, Amar.
And it was supposed to get, one of the criteria was 33.6 miles to the gallon, which was unheard of back in 1933.
I'll be darned.
So that was just some of the stories this week in automotive history that I thought were rather interesting.
Well, they are very interesting, and I thank you very much for sharing those with us. What's
Yes, sir.
next week's lesson?
Next week is the important things that happen between now and then.
That was a good answer,
That was
Mars.
good, Michael.
That was direct from
Yep.
Meterville. All right. Couple of stories here. Cadillac
Yes.
preparing to launch a roomier version of the Escalade,
Yeah.
offering extra space for people, bigger people,
Roomier?
and for cargo, about $2,700 more for this car. General Motors luxury brand on March 5th revealed the 2026 Cadillac Escalade IQL, a nameplate it confirmed a year ago and the counterpart to the gasoline-powered Escalade ESV. Production of the Escalade IQL will begin around June, July, August, somewhere in
So
there.
that's when they're transitioning it?
They're transitioning, yes. Now, I think this is an added bonus. The vehicle will be sold globally. God. And come in 4 trims, luxury sport, premium luxury, and premium sport. Pricing started at $132,695. Here, take this. They may give you a couple dollars off. on
there
it.
you
It's
go.
an expensive transition.
It is a transition that's very expensive. I think most of them are, from what I've heard. I don't know. For potential car buyers today, vehicle price is a key focus, according to Betty Jatanovic, president of auto relationships at Santander Consumer. Auto lender Santander surveyed roughly 2,200 Americans making between $50,000 and $148,000 a year in December for the lender's quarterly Paths to Prosperity study. According to the survey, 52% of middle-income Americans delayed purchasing a vehicle in the past year because of the cost. Nearly half of middle-income Americans, however, are considering purchasing a vehicle this year and are taking initial steps to prepare,
Very good.
according to Mrs. Javatnik. Is that the way I said it? Javatnik? Betty.
Close.
Betty.
Betty. who?
With Santander.
Martha's sister.
Martha?
Martha?
Martha Santander.
Martha Santander.
Martha
It's her sister.
Javatnik.
Yep.
All right. We're going to wrap up today's show right
Carlos.
after a quick break here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. It's time for the 47th Annual Corvette Chevy Expo in Galveston, Saturday and Sunday, March 15th and 16th at the Galveston Island Convention Center. This premier indoor event features iconic Chevrolets, from classic Camaros to America's sports car Corvette. See over 135 displays, automotive vendors, and unique finds at the expansive swap meet. You'll also see the all-handmade Galveston Craft Show, featuring over 100 local artisans. Be part of this Chevy celebration, March 15th and 16th. For tickets, visit CorvetteChevyExpo.com.
Well, that's all for this week's In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Be sure to check us out online at InWheelTime.com. We're always looking for new and fun automotive things. If you have an idea, let us know. Our email address is info@InWheelTime.com. When you're looking for award-winning car talk, you can always find the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show 24/7 on the In Wheel Time app. If you're on the road, grab a podcast anytime from your favorite podcast provider, including the new SiriusXM podcast channel. And be sure and catch us on the Odyssey radio app. We video stream our live show every Saturday, 10 to noon on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. The In Wheel Time video technical director is we always need more Jeff Zekin for booking agent, video editor, and people finder Mike Out of This World, Mars, and chief engineer David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong. Today, the Hot Rod Tour of Texas starts April 24th in Victoria. We hope you'll join us, or at least tune in. Details and links at InWheelTime.com. Be safe out there. Have a great week, and thanks again for tuning in to In Wheel Time.